just a few more comments about my working career. I think I got up to the point where I was really deep into the management at the Citizens Bank, and the Citizens was kind of unique in that we had a real large data processing operation. We did at one time over 100 banks in our centers here and in Quincy. We
What
also
does that
had,
mean you did? You
we did
processed their,
we did their data processing,
right.
their item processing.
So they paid you to do their,
Yeah,
right.
fee on a fee basis.
Mm-hmm.
We also had a big correspondent business. All banks have to clear, at that point, everything cleared by paper. Nowadays, it's mostly electronic, still some paper, but back in those days, you had to move this paper around as expeditiously as possible, and we were involved in a lot of that too. So this went on for probably 20 years of my banking career, and then things started you started to see some consolidation in banking companies and financial institutions, and Illinois was kind of unique in it. Illinois had very restrictive branching statutes for years and years, and really controlled the banking environment in terms of not allowing combinations. And as a result, if you just think about it, there's not a heck of a lot of large banks headquartered in Illinois, maybe none. But you know, if you think back to the First of Chicago and the Continental of Chicago and some others, they probably should have been nationwide leaders in finance, but they sort of faded away, and that's because of, I think, these restrictive statutes. That's just my opinion. But in any event, we started to see some consolidation and some easing of the restrictions against consolidation, and with our ownership of Citizens being somewhat older, and the family relationships that were looking for maybe some future use for their capital, we merged with some other banks here in central Illinois and made a much larger company. And I can't even remember the name of it. I think it was Midwest Financial at that point. Yeah. And then Midwest Financial, after a few years of that operation, it was headquartered in Peoria, but had a unit here and other places, was acquired by First of America out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, which then made us about a $20 billion company. And then First of America, after a few more years, was acquired by National City Corporation out of Cleveland, and at that point was maybe a $50 or $60 billion company. So I started working through all of those entities and decided that I had sort of reached the end of what I saw myself being involved in, just because of these size relationships and what was happening internally. And I had enough whiskers to retire. So I worked out a deal where I retired, and at that point I was running the unit here in Decatur, and it had been for probably 10 years. Sometimes I did it unofficially, but I really ran it for that length of time. But I ran it with the full titles for maybe 5 or 6 years.
Is that president or CEO, or what? You were president?
I was president and CEO.
Okay.
And a board member. So I retired, and at this point I think I was 59 maybe. And so I immediately started getting phone calls from people about the job. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep working? And I knew I wanted to keep working because I didn't feel like I was done. So I ended up looking at some different opportunities and decided to go to work for a competing institution here in Decatur, the First National Bank organization. And at that time, First National was just had its own bank here, and it had a bank in Shelbyville, and then it had a item processing company called First Tech. It was a payment processor, which was kind of unique. Anyway, it still has it, by the way. But anyway, I went to work down there, and then right away this management gaps showed up. In other words, you had top management, and then you had nothing coming up behind it. So, and I didn't start at the top down there. In fact, they asked me what I wanted to be paid, and I said, "Well, what's a vice president get paid around here?" And they told me, and I said, "That's fine for me." So anyway, I went to work down there, and obviously got included in all of what was going on right off the bat, and I ended up being president and chairman of that bank after a while. And
And where was that based?
that was here in
It was
Decatur.
still here in
Yeah,
Decatur.
still
It was
there.
a competitor to Citizens.
And then after, I can't remember the exact number of years, but again, this consolidation process was ongoing, and we merged with a banking company out of Champaign Bank, Illinois. And then subsequently, we merged into Busey, which is where it exists now. And I finally retired after 13 years there from Busey Bank. So
And you were how old?
72 and a half.
So 50 years in banking.
Yeah, yeah.
That's quite an accomplishment.
No, thank you. It was great.